Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's online lecture. Thank you for showing interest and registering for this lecture. The last time I checked, there was around 300 people from 46 countries registered for the lecture. I also noticed that there are many professionals with us today, so many entrepreneurs, CEOs, project managers, even we have physicians, lawyers, engineers, government officials, and so many others. I want to thank you all, and also I want to thank Israeli embassies across the world for promoting this lecture in their platforms. I want to start this lecture by showing you a short video about our organization, Mashav, Israel Agency for International Development at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let's watch together this video and we'll be back again to discuss the main topic of today's lecture, what entrepreneurs should do to survive the coronavirus.
Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation, was launched 60 years ago to share the know-how and technologies which provided the basis for Israel's own rapid development. Mashav aims to empower those living in poverty in a holistic and innovative way and support fellow nations and communities in their struggle to achieve sustainable development, placing people at the heart of its initiatives. Our agricultural programs use unique techniques and farming methods to increase sustainability, food security, and hunger eradication. We believe that investment in education is an investment in our future and an agent for change around the world. We coordinate Israel's official humanitarian assistance, building medical facilities and supplying medicine in the wake of earthquakes, floods, famine, and other disasters. Mashav promotes innovative entrepreneurship as a means of advancing growth and prosperity. We believe that gender equality and women's empowerment are central to reach sustainable development. Our philosophy is to leave no one behind. During 6 decades, Mashav has trained over 300,000 people from more than 140 countries and has established development projects worldwide. Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation, is celebrating 60 years of sharing its experience.
Okay, welcome back. My name is Yehuda Michael. My background is in business consulting, and I hold an MBA degree from a university in the United States. I work for one of the 3 Mashav centers called Mashav Carmel, MCTC, founded in 1961 by 2 visionary women, our former Prime Minister Golda Meir, one of the few female leaders, and Mina Ben-Zvi, MCTC's founding director, through Mashav, Israel Agency for International Development Cooperation. So the purpose was to assist in the training of women engaging in the community work in the newly emergent states in Africa and Asia back in the 1960s. Since then, things have changed. We also grew up more and expanded our work into 140 countries across the world. Today, we focus on 3 main areas. The first one is entrepreneurship and innovation, the subject that Israel is well known in recent decades. Israel is named as a startup nation. We share our experience on this topic. The second one is early childhood education that focuses on building the next generation. And the third one is a sustainable community development that focuses on socio-economic topics related to a society. We believe that in women's contribution to a society and a country's economy. We stress that gender equality is the key for sustainable development. For these reasons, all of our programs are based in gender equality. Before I start to discuss the topics that we will have today, I want to give you some notes. Because your videos and audios are muted, if you noticed. The reason that is muted is we had a lot of bad experience that happened in the past, so we're trying to prevent that. So just for you to know about it. So let's move into today's discussion point. Whether or not a recession is going to happen, it's likely that the virus will going to affect your business or it's already affecting you either directly or indirectly. The best way to handle this potential impact is to prepare for it both within your business and beyond. The purpose of this lecture is to give you a tool to minimize the effects of the coronavirus in your business. I want to be honest with you, it's a global problem. Your business is going to be impacted one way or another. But the idea is what you can do as an entrepreneur to reduce the effect and survive. Today's lecture will focus on 4 main business aspects: finance, management, marketing, and economics. First, we will talk about a business plan, and management tools that will help you to organize your business activities. We'll talk about the need to adjust it, to adjust your business plan based on the changing reality on the way that best serve your interest. We go in detail and discuss each aspect. A second topic will be, we'll talk about your finance, your cash flow, the #1 problem for startups. We'll discuss about how to manage your cash inflow and outflow wisely, especially at this time of crisis. And then we're going to jump in again to management and discuss about a risk management tool. We will look several tools that are going to help you to better prepare for potential risk. And fourth, we will discuss about a decision-making process, how your short-term decision have to be well adjusted with your long-term plan. And after, we will discuss about a marketing strategy at the time of crisis, what we have right now. And we will finish by talking about a little bit of economics. And we'll learn about other countries' experience and response, the economic impact in macroeconomic level. We will see what you can learn from other countries' experience and what you can implement into your country. So if those topics are relevant to you, please stick around up to the end. I want to start talk about business plan. Why you need a strong business plan and why you need to revise it right now. A business plan is your business backbone. Without a proper plan, your business cannot be successful or survive. It is a communication tool between you and investors, banks, and other stakeholders related to your business. When you have a strong business plan, investors can attract to invest into your business. In this time of crisis, you might gonna find yourself in the situation that you need to take a fund or loan from a government entity or other sources to move and to continue your business. The first assessment is a bank or other entities will examine before they give you a loan is seeing your business strengths and ability to survive through your business plan and financial statement. So these 2 topics are very important. Business plan has more you show you if your business plan, if your idea is going to work or not. It's like a bubble that's in your mind when you think about creating some sort of business. But business plan is the place that you put that idea and see if that is actually working. The business plan outlines each area of your business and give you the full picture how your company will make how you're gonna make profits, how you're gonna get the demand and supply, how you're gonna do your marketing, and many aspects. So for this reason, you need to revise your business plan according to the changing business environment. So I wanna start by giving you an example. For this discussion, I wanna focus more in a business model canvas. A business model canvas is as a strategic management and lean startup template for developing or documenting an existing business plan. So if you already have one, you need to revise it. We'll discuss more about it in the coming slides. If you don't have one, you need to develop a new. The business model canvas is really a great tool to help you understand a business model in a straightforward and in a very structured way. Using this Canva will lead to insights about the customer you serve, what value proposition are offered, through what channel you do it, and how your company actually can make money. So, but I don't know how many of you are familiar with this tool. So I want to give you a quick snapshot of a business model canvas through example. I choose to use as an example a low-cost airlines, because those airlines are competing with a large traditional airlines in the market. For me, it is like the same as you small business owners, startuppers, competing with a large companies. The good news is, if you have a better business plan, you can survive and prosper. Let's come back to the example. People always ask the question, how a low-cost airlines beats the competition by offering a lower price? How they become even profitable at all? Here's what they do. They first choose the appropriate customer segment. There are so many people flying for different purposes and having a different budget. Low-cost airlines choose those who are budgeted travelers out of this big box. And then they provide a suitable value proposition for their customers, which is the cheap flight. That is what customers are looking for. They also offer these flights in the top traveling season to most visited destination for customers in affordable prices. So that is the value proposition and the customer segment they have. They use a website and a call center as their channel to sell tickets and communicate. Here they save money by not having hundreds of offices around the world, which can add so many costs associated with it, such as a rent, a staff, a utility, and so many other costs. They maintain their customer relationships through automated systems, so they don't have to hire a lot of people. That cuts cost of having more employers. When it comes into revenue streaming, they sell flight tickets. In addition, if you're not, if you want more than what they offer you in their basic package, they charge an extra fee, such as for seats, auto check-in and auto check-out, extra luggage, food, drinks on board. That way they generate more money. As a key resource, they use a single aircraft mode with a single, which is like a single passenger class. And they mostly also operate just a single aircraft type. That helps them that a cabin and ground crew will only have to be trained in one kind of aircraft. They don't have to train their staff in multiple things. So it just cut a lot of cost. They also use a multi-purpose staff. For example, a flight attendant also can be like a gate agent, helps to limit the cost very much. Or they reduce a ground crew by using a third-party agent. That helps them to reduce cost of employers' benefit, such as insurance or sick pay or other stuff. When it comes into their key activities, they usually fly a short distance flight, which enables them to quickly turn around in the same day. This way, they don't have to pay costs associated with aircraft or a crew if they stay in that country. In the key partners section, what they do is usually they partner with other businesses that has importance to the passengers. Things like a hotel, taxi companies, insurance companies, so many things. They try to ask you when you book your flight if you want the services, and if you do get the services through their offer, they can get a commission, which is also additional revenue stream. So they're making money in this aspect also. Finally, the cost. I want to talk about the cost. In order to reduce the cost, what they do is they buy a second-hand plane and they fly to a cheap airport that offers them a cheap landing fee. So this way they can save money. To answer the question that we start with, how they become profitable, well, they become profitable by using the proper business plan. I hope this example gives you a better image how this tool can be useful to your business. So now let's explore which part you need to change and talk about everything in detail. So the first topic we will talk about is a customer segment. At the basic level, a customer segment represents the different groups of people or businesses or organizations that we aim to reach and serve. To best satisfy customers, it's better to group them into distinct segments based on their common interest, based on the problem that they have, or based on their behaviors. I'm assuming, as many entrepreneurs already know, not all the customers are equally interested into your business product or service. In such a time of crisis, you need to list the top 3 segments. Look for the segment that provides you the most revenue. See what you can see if you can address their needs, the 3 segments need first. Give their order and request as a priority as much as you can. Like, you have to make a list and ask yourself, who would I serve first if I can serve only one segment? Who will be the first one? Who will be the second one? And so on and so forth. You need a cash, you need to generate some sort of money. So you have to choose wisely your segments that you have to serve. Make sure that you can identify an existing need and problem caused by the corona outbreak and identify specific alternatives that the customers are using these days. And you must fit yourself based on that. If you're not sure, go out and observe, talk to some people. Understanding this will going to help you to link your customer with your value proposition, which is the second topic we're going to talk about now. At the basic level, value propositions are the reasons why customers is coming into your business instead of going into another business. The main aspects of being an entrepreneur is providing solutions for people's problem and the ability to fit yourself based on their needs. So I think this crisis is your time to adjust your business based on the people changing needs and wants. The question you must ask yourself could be, is my current value proposition fit with the changing business environment caused by the corona outbreak? What is people priorities these days? Is my proposition can address those needs? What would be the best solution, and how can I adjust my business accordingly? You have to remember, not all the businesses are impacted. Some businesses are doing okay. The virus might gonna even give you a game-changing solution to your business, but it really needs you to be there to assess, to understand, to observe, and to fit yourself based on the changing business, people's needs and wants. So the one thing that I want to suggest is think about your value proposition. If you didn't read it down yet, it is your time to have a written business plan. Or if you already have one, go to your old value proposition and see if it is still relevant to the changing environment for the people's needs today. Either quantitative or qualitative solution or game-changing solution, if you can, everything is okay, but you have to see it if your value proposition is still relevant for people. Maybe sometimes you feel like you're not in a good shape, you're like really in a good shape of understanding the customer's world, but you're not sure if the value propositions are really connected to the customers. The key here is just to write down all these assumptions that you have in your mind, prioritize them, and figure out the quickest and the cheapest way to prove or disprove this. Because that's all what we're talking about when coming to startup and lean startup. That is what it means. Let's move into channels. What should you do there? This is also where you can save money by choosing the right channel. Channel are means you use to communicate your value proposition to your customer segment. Look how things are really connected. Your segment and value proposition is connected by the channel. For example, if you sell shoes and there's like a website that everybody is buying shoes there, this site can be a sales channel. You should do your own judgment. Either you need to sell your product in that specific website, or should you develop your own website, or should you have a store to sell your product. If you're using also like a Google AdWord, for instance, to promote your product, that is also a channel. That is more to get attention and to give awareness about your service and product for the people. If you're using a third party to sell your shoes, that is also a channel. So when you're working in your channel, you should ask yourself questions such as, how do I communicate with my customers? How do I deliver the value proposition? Well, you have to be very creative and think about most cost-effective and efficient channel to use, of course, given your situation. If you're not able to pay to store or office because of the financial stress caused by the corona outbreak, you should think about a different means that still helps you to keep doing business. Probably not like in the full capacity, but you are still not going to be out of a business. So you have to think creatively. I can give you some suggestions. Maybe you should start to sell your product online and close your store temporarily. Maybe you should deliver your service in product than asking people to come to your store. This helps you to reduce your cost by renting a very small space, a store or office, instead of having this big offices or stores that you have. So you have some sort of minimizing cost there. Maybe this is a time to partner with others and to use a partner's own stores to reduce cost. As long as it reduces some sort of cost, whatever you choose is okay. But think about the most cost-effective and relevant channel to your business. Let's move into a customer relationship. Especially for small businesses, customer relationship is important to survive and continue your business. A good customer relationship can promote and grow your business, but a bad customer relationship, on the other hand, will ruin your reputation and take you out of business. For those of you having a high demand to your product and service, you might gonna face a problem because of the supply chain challenge. Currently, there are like closures of border and companies, which are gonna cause a delay on supplies. So what should you do? The best way is to communicate with your customers and explain them the situation. Give them some sort of comfort. Just do not disappear or give false information that cause people to have a frustration. Your customers are your business oxygen. Without them, your business cannot exist. So you have to keep, in this time, the best communication you can have with your customers. For those of you having a less demand but have enough supply, try to communicate with your customers and look a way to give them a discount or a long-term payment or other means in the way that did not impact your cash flow. Depending upon your situation, supply situation, you may not be able to fulfill orders, or your customers may not be able to buy the quantities they ask for. But it is your job to inform your customers and figure out how best to solve this problem. All of them, like the existing one or the expected one, you have to listen what your customers have to say, and you have to open the way to work together for a creative solution. The most important thing that I want you to take from customer relationship here, you have to communicate. You have to communicate clearly with your customers. Let's move into revenue stream. You don't need my help to understand the importance of revenue. The revenue stream section is trying to answer the question, for what value or price would the customer segment be willing to pay? You need to focus in your techniques to determine your pricing strategy. What kind of strategy are you using? Are you using a fixed listing pricing? Are you using a discount pricing? How that fits with your business, with current financial situation? Pricing is a very, very sensitive topic, marketing topic that you should really carefully examine, because that is what brings your customer or takes them away from you. The first and most important act you should do during this time is to reduce cost as much as you can. That is the most of the suggestion I have in many of my slides. But you also still need to have some income to move forward and continue your business. The first thing I'll say is try to find additional financial source of revenue. Be creative in your sales, in your marketing. List your top 3 revenue streams. Check if those revenue streams are impacted by the virus outbreak. See ways how you can improve them or add a new revenue stream that can generate you income. Check if you have if you can offer a discount as a means to manage your situation, perhaps even to get some cash inflow, but not cash outflow. Your decision must be in according with your business ability to provide such a discount. If this is something that you cannot do, you may be considering to do other things. For instance, you have to check if you have like a tax payment extension from your local authority. We'll talk more about the government responses once we get into other countries' experience. Or look for a disaster assistance loan that's available to you in your country. But remember, like the loan is something that you have to pay back again. So you have to be careful on the amount you take. It must be associated with your current financial situation. And your lesson from this disaster in the future should be these 2 things that I want to mention in that one. The first thing is you must have a financial reserve or some sort of saving for your business for the time of need and the disaster. It doesn't have to be a big amount of money. You can save a very small fraction of your profit to have a saving account, a closed saving account. And within a year, that 100, if you put $100 for instance, that money could be 1,200 within a year. So that is like a good amount of money that will help you to do something. So you always have to have that reserve. A second thing that I'm suggesting is you always have to consider to have a new revenue source by diversifying your business. If you have only a 1 product line or 1 service line, you have to think about how to diversify it all the time. Because in case that one of them is not going to work, you're not going to be out of a business. You're still going to have other line to go with. So always think about how you actually can diversify your business. Okay, let's move into a key resource. This is also your time to think how to use your resources effectively. You have to ask, what is the strategic asset you need right now for your business? It could be like the people, the knowledge, the machineries, money that you need to run your business, but you have to know about it. What you have to do is you have to list the key resources linked to your business key activities, your key resources and your key activities. Rank them according to its importance to run your business and the amount of cost associated with it. You have to build a cost-benefit analysis to see which resource to use and prioritize. If your key resource costs you more money than the benefit made, do not use it. Like, look into another alternative listed in your rank list. Key resource could be very different from business to business. For example, a key resource in a product-driven business are usually a key talent in some sort of area and some sort of intellectual property. So try to figure out your key resource and list them according to its importance. So after you identify your immediate key resource needs, work toward achieving economy of scale, which is like try to see which resource can produce you more while it makes you saving in cost. So here we talked about 2 things: to do a cost-benefit analysis and to use to achieve economy of scale. Your main goal here should be using your resource effectively while reducing risks of failure. So try to use this advice. Let's move into key activities. My suggestion in the key activities is continue to operate. This is not a holiday. This is not a time to take a break. This is a time to do what entrepreneurs do, and that is to push and to move forward. be creative, and find a way to continue to operate. Assess what function can be done remotely and what must be completed in the office. For most businesses, not everything can be done remotely. A small team may need to be working in an office for certain functions. Choose those who must be at office based on their tasks and set the other peoples to work remotely. You can use some of these tools to assist you working remotely. You can use like Zoom or Google Hangout or Skype to have like a staff or a client meeting. You can use a Slack or a WhatsApp for instant messaging. You can use like things like Monday.com for project management. You can use a Dropbox or Google Drive for file sharing. Some of them are free, some are not, but most of them are free. It is really make your life easy and keep your business to continue. If your business is more production-based, find a way to maintain some level of service, even if it's like really, really reduced. If you have like a business that normally employs, let's say, 10 people, then reduce your output by putting 2 shifts of 5 people. This way, you at least have delivering something, and also you are keeping your staff employed. I want to mention that firing your staff must be your last solution in this crisis. There's a lot of things that you can do, as I mentioned it, and I can continue mentioning it, but firing your staff is the last option that you have to have, because your staff is your resource, valuable source that you need in your business. Finding the skills that you need in specific area of your work and having that experience is very vital for your business existence. So you fire your employees if you don't have any option left in the table. So many small businesses are having employees working remotely for the first time. Increase your level of technology as quick and as affordable as possible. And also you have to teach your staff how to use stuff, because not everybody is knowing that. For some of you, you will need to set up a VPN access for employers to access their work computer into their home computer. You can use a cloud services. There's all sort of cloud services like Google Drive, OneDrive, so many cloud services that even makes things more easier for your business. And for those of you having like more employers and there's a lot of people, you need to implement a written remote working agreement with your employers, and of course they have to sign it. You can set expectation in that agreement, some sort of report to be completed per week. You can use just an Excel spreadsheet to do that. So the reason is your employers can track their workload and the customer interaction and projects, so you know what is going on. Not everybody is working in the same place, so it's important that you have such a control. In that agreement, you also can have other legal issues, things related to payment, vacation, and other topics. It is important that you have a legal document to your business because people can come after and then ask you a lot about if you just do the oral agreement. So you must have some sort of written agreement. The main idea here, what I'm trying to tell you is, in key activity, you should keep operating. You don't have to stop here. Let's move into a key partner section. If you haven't already, you should pick up your phone and talk with your suppliers and then discuss the impact with your employers. This is not a time to panic. That's not what I'm suggesting, but this is a time to prepare for the best way to serve your customer and list those possibilities out there. It's already widely recognized that the outbreak affected global supply chain, and especially like a lot of production are made in China, and things make them very difficult. And since like many of products are transported in cargo ship, this means like it's gonna take us even months before we know the real impact of this coronavirus. But the good thing is your suppliers and their suppliers, everybody knows what will be the impact in the supply chain to your business if it's already gonna affect you or in what way will gonna affect you. But the best thing you can do here is just to pick up your phone and talk directly to your suppliers about how you can work together to mitigate this distribution. They're probably working to try to find a solution, but they don't know automatically what is important for you. What is important to you is very different from their other customers. For instance, let's say it might be better for you to delay all the deliveries and pick it up in full later. The reason could be because by not having the whole delivery right now, you're probably gonna save a storage cost. So you don't wanna pay that and you prefer not to have it. Or you need a portion of your order, parts that you need immediately for your business operation, but you can take the rest afterward. What you have to do is like, you have to let them know your priorities and you have to suggest solutions. You have to be frank and straightforward with them. Most of the businesses, most of your suppliers will be very happy and appreciative your offer to work together with them in order to get some sort of solution. So you have to call them and approach them with a solution. Not only question, but you have to approach them with the question, with the solution. That way you guys can work together. Let's move into the cost structure, which will be the last section in the business plan, and we'll move into the finance. Almost in all the section about, we talked about ways to reduce cost. My suggestion would be like use a cost-driven business model, which focuses on minimizing costs whenever it is possible. Ask yourself like, which costs are variable, which costs are fixed, and where it is possible to cut. And you have to list your variable and fixed costs alike and see like where we can decrease and cut costs. Small business owners usually, they start their businesses from the beginning, from the bottom up to the top, up to its growth. And once their businesses start to grow, they usually start to have more expansion, more luxuries, like to have more big offices, to have a business travel, to hire more staffs, and many other countless small things to expand their business. And the suggestion is now you have to stop all these things, like all the spendings as much as you can. You have to negotiate with your banks and suppliers for payment push, from rebates or interest cuts. Any kind of help they can give you should be your priority, because that is really important to have those cuts. This economy shutdown is not regional, it's a global problem. So everybody is affected. Your banks and suppliers need you to survive this crisis for their own best benefit. Also, they're probably struggling, but they will be struggling more if they lose you as a client. Your supplier's existence is based on your success. This is an ecosystem that one is dependent on another. The more they lose a client, they also find themselves out of the business. So my big suggestion in cost structure is just start to negotiate with your suppliers. Go and talk to them. Let's talk about a cash flow. I don't want you to remember this financial terms in the slide, but I want you more to understand them. Financial analysis all the time say inadequate cash reserve are the top reason that so many startups didn't succeed. In the startup world, it's called running out of money, and that really kills startups from the beginning. As an entrepreneur, you need a liquid asset, which means you need a cash and cash equivalent to run your business. It is essential for you to assess your company liquidity, flexibility, and overall financial performance every time. Most of the time, entrepreneurs do not give enough attention to their credit sales. You can have an asset like account receivable, which is like money owed to you by a customer. But if you cannot able to collect this money, you're not going to have a cash. Your accounting system also show a difference balance between your cash and profit, because the cash is you always record in your accounting system once you sell a product, either as a credit or in a cash. So your accounting system showed just two differences. And when you need a cash to use in such kind of in this time of crisis, you don't have that available cash into you. So you have to be very careful in your credit sale based on your current financial situation. You always have to assess that. You don't have to give everything by credit. During this time, you also you have to increase your operating cash inflows, like cash generated by your main business activity. If you're selling something, the money that comes out of it. In other hand, you have to decrease all your operating cash outflows, which is by like listing your fixed and variable cost and see like where you can actually cut out. Other suggestion I have is try to increase your investing cash inflows by looking which fixed asset you can sell back again. Which means like if you bought like a machine a while ago because you thought things were gonna be good, we're gonna expand, try to sell back those products and to get some amount of money to increase your investing cash inflows. When I say inflow and outflow, I think it's clear, but just to make it clear, inflow is something coming to you and outflow is something go out from you. Also increase, and also you have to decrease your investing cash outflow, which means like you don't have to expand your business this time. You don't have to hire new people. You have to reduce any cost associated with that in order to have a liquid cash for you. The other thing is you have to increase your financial cash inflows through a government loan, could be from any loans or government assistance. You have to get some sort of financial cash to you. In a small business context, if you're taking your profit and use it for your personal benefit, which means like as a dividend, this is also the time to you to stop doing that because you need a liquid cash asset as much as you can at this period of time. Let's move into a risk management tool. You should use the risk management tool to identify and respond to the risk. The outbreak of Corona might be the cause that leads your business to be in worse situation, but it might not be the root cause. The root cause could be inadequate resource management, or it could be unnecessary expansion you did in that increase your cost, or too much credits there that leave you without liquid asset. This is a time for you to just sit down and see what worsens your situation and what makes you to be vulnerable in this time of crisis. Brainstorm with your employers to see risks that could impact your business. Use the priority and impact matrix to prioritize risks that needs a detailed risk response plan. You can use a SWOT to identify your strengths that will gonna help you to survive, your weakness that you need to work on, or the opportunities that expand your business, and the threat that will gonna end your business. So bring a chart, start to write, start to do and see where you can actually prepare for it. Here I want to talk about leadership more. The best leader is the one who have a to-do and not to-do list. Immediate and effective response is very vital, but a long-term dimension is also even more critical at this time. So you have to be very careful in the action that you're taking. If the loan you're taking today can lead you into bankruptcy tomorrow, so you don't have to do that. Before you made any decision, my suggestion would be you need to do the right calculation and use the real-time accounting data and financial ratios to determine and make decisions. Because numbers don't lie. If it is bad, it's bad. If it is good, it's good. So you have to base it based on your accounting data. Be a risk taker, but base your decision on data, not assumption. A lot of time people do things in assumption and not base their judgment in data, and that can lead you into failure. So please base your decision based on the data you have. Let's move into marketing a little bit. Make sure to communicate clearly and constantly with your customers. If you're open for business, make sure that they know you're open in the way how they can interact with your business. Make it easy for them to purchase your product and service. You can use a lot of digital marketing tools these days. Use your social media presence to keep your customers up to date. If you're not using social media, this is your time to start and to have a social media. Social media can help you to reach into many people's and customer segments. If your customers are young, for instance, you can use like Instagram features to get their attention. There's Instagram stories. There's a lot of challenges, many things that a lot of businesses are these days using actually to promote and to sell their product. You also can use that. If you have more older customer segments, you can open a Facebook page and use it to promote, to communicate. You can open a LinkedIn page and you can attract professionals to your business. You can find your like skilled professional there and maybe probably ideas also. You can open a Twitter account and use Twitter hashtags to expand your connection and create awareness about your business. You should create a newsletter or a series of emails to your customers. Use all these tools to communicate and help customers. Let them feel like your services are still going as usual, uninterrupted during this time. You should be creative, learn what resonates your customers right now, provide and find a new opportunity to market and to sell your product based on the data that you're gathering from the people. This is a good time to focus on your existing customers, provide them an excellent service, make sure that you keep your relationship continue with all your customers. Let all your key peoples that you are there for them. One thing that I want to mention is you also have to start to consider a new way to deliver your service or product. It may be through a home delivery, it could be through mail or through website, but the whole in marketing, the key is to think outside of the box. So you have to think outside of the box when it comes to your marketing. This will be actually the last slide before we wrap up our lecture. Large scale quarantines, traveling restrictions, and social distancing will lead the economy to downfall up to the end of the second quarter, the third quarter, even more further. And it is also going to produce a recession. For all these reasons, countries are taking a different measures to support their economies in short-term and long-term plans. Different countries have a different GDP per capita, and their responses are different in relation to their economy. Governments are working these days on proposals to aid small businesses. What I'm suggesting is your voice is very critical in this moment of crisis. You cannot leave other businesses, big businesses, or like other representatives to speak for you when it comes to some economic policy that will impact you personally. Small businesses are the backbone of any country's economy, and the governments are aware of that. You need to learn other countries' experience and suggest for policymakers in your country, use solutions, and speak what matters most for you. This can be done individually, and it can be done in partnership with other entrepreneurs. You can use social media, you can use letters, you can use emails, you can use phone calls. All of them are effective way of communication. This is a time for you to unite with other entrepreneurs and to keep communicate, to have influence in whatever will going to happen in the government level. To give you just the other countries' experience, both Israel and the United States allocate some money to support small businesses. Most of the support are based on a long-term loan and some sort of stipend money for the first 2-3 months of the quarantine. Everybody will be impacted. Some rich countries have more resources to deal with this crisis than other countries. For Israel, for instance, this will going to cost the country in a coming future. The extra spending will cause a debit to GDP ratio to increase to 75% from about 60%. That's a big increase. And At the end of the day, we as a citizen, we're going to pay back through increasing in tax in the future. My suggestion in general is be a good citizen by paying your tax to the government. Your government can have the ability to support you when you obey your duty. It's important that you're asking your right, but also you need to fulfill your obligation as well. So finally, we all are learning a lot about how we could have a better handle this disaster and learn to prevent the coming one. Use this time as a wake-up call for you to learn from this experience. Start taking notes and use this experience to improve yourself, your business, when all these things are come over. And a personal note, I suggest you to improve your negotiation skill, be active and communicate, also improve your communication skill. You must show leadership at this time. It's not a holiday, you should keep working. You should read and learn about other countries' experience. You should learn about other business strategies, marketing. Use the technology you have in your hand for your best benefit and the time that you have to develop your knowledge. The more you know and learn, the more you will be a better business person, and also you become a better leader. So my prayers from Jerusalem that we all live this crisis soon and back to normal. This will be the end of the lecture. And thank you very much. Oh, chat. Okay. So